before we start, this is a perfect opportunity. One, there is absolutely no standing and running around on the tram. The seats you picked are the ones you have to stay in. I really don't think this is necessary for this group, but it's something I have to say. And two, those of you on the outside edges, as I described to the folks in the back, everything's really lush right now. So sometimes we have to pull over to the edge of the cart path, and there's thorns on things and trees and bushes sticking out. So make sure you pull your arms in. If you have short sleeves, and you don't want any of your shirts to get ripped or anything. Okay, business on point. Not going to do that, are you? Guys got a camera. Okay. So, welcome to Frederick Mejier Garden Sculpture Park on this beautiful, misty, humid day. Mejier Gardens will be beautiful no matter what the weather. Now, this beautiful park opened in 1995 with a gift of the land from Fred and Lena Mejier, and then they worked with the West Michigan Lawn Cultural Society to develop this space. And this space is manned by over 900 volunteers. Mike, your driver, and Gail, your narrator, are part of that volunteer group. And we're running a little behind today, so I'm going to talk even faster than I normally do. So we're going to try to get it all in. We've got some accolades we have to shout about. This year, USA Today named us the #1 sculpture park in the United States. And Travel Report, part of Travel and Leisure, named us the second best botanical garden in the United States. But I'm going to do a little caveat here. As you might know, in our title, Frederick Mejier Garden and Sculpture Park, does it say botanical anywhere in there? No. We are really not a botanical garden. A botanical garden, you have to have everything labeled. If you've been to other botanical gardens, you see everything. And much to all of our chagrin, many things are labeled, but some of them are not. So we didn't have the phone with the camera to take a picture of it to identify what is that. Not everything is labeled. So just keep that in mind. But now, our first sculpture we're going to look at, we're going to kind of look over. Mark's going to find the best spot to see it. It's going to be on our left, over your shoulder, right about here. Those of you in the front, look first. Okay, look up on the hill. And that is called Male Female by Jonathan Veracity. And can you, especially the lady in the front, you by its vestry, what do you see, a male or a female? Well, I know it's male. Yeah, but no, don't tell. They made it look. Yes, right here we see a male. But again, based on the title, might give you a clue. We might be talking about this again later. But yes, right there is a good. And right now it looks like a male. But now we're going to focus our attention over here to the right. And on our right, we have Cabin Creek by Deborah Butterfield, an American artist who uses the materials she collected from her ranch on Cabin Creek, Montana. Now, these materials, what do you think they are? Yeah, they are wood. But let me give you this little caveat. This sculpture is bronze. What she did was she sculpted the pieces in wood, then she took it apart, cast all the pieces in bronze, and then used a chemical process to change the patina to make it look like wood. And then this is what I want to point out underneath Cabin Creek. Look at this fantastic Montana prairie grass going underneath her. That's what they're going here for in Mejier Garden. Combining the horticulture and sculpture together, sometimes complementing the sculpture like that one does, or other times it's a contrast to the sculpture. And this artist only does mares, only female horses. And she, I guess in her young life, was going to be a vet or an artist, and we are very happy that she chose being an artist. Okay, now this is the first one I talked about back there. If you look over to your right, you're going to see Neuron by Roxy Payne, an American artist who uses 3,500 stainless steel tubes from the pharmaceutical and petroleum industry to make his version of a neuron, the cell in the brain that connects all parts of the body through electricity. And this is actually part of a grouping called the dendroids, and we have one of them. And if you look close, you see one of the dendrites, like going down the lawn there. I think most most of us can remember back in our 5th grade, 4th grade science classes with the styrofoam ball and the pipe cleaner. That's our version of a neuron. But again, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Oh, be careful. That didn't hit you. It didn't hit you, did it? Did it hit you? Okay. No, good. Okay. Whatever I was saying, we're done with it. So now we're going to look up on our hill again. Right past this little tree here, our male has now slowly converged back into a female that some of you may have seen around the corner before. And that's what porosity is known for, is bringing these two energies together to form a stronger whole. Because when you look at this configuration, it is a much stronger configuration than a flat thing that would flow over. And that's what he's known for, is bringing people together to form a stronger community. And this is located in one of the little pathways we can't get to via the tram. That one's called the Grove. It's got a pond back there that provides all the irrigation for Mejier Garden back there. Other sculptures. I didn't find out how long you here for today. Okay.
1:30.
Okay, now, on our left, another way the horror culture complements the piece. Look at how this Japanese barberry complements Bronze Horn by Henry Moore. Now, Henry Moore is an English artist who is normally in the top 100 artists in the world and is known for combining the human body and nature together. And this is really much like, male, female, that looks different from all sides. If you walk around this sculpture, it does look very different from all sides. It takes on a completely different feel from the back side of this sculpture. So if you get the chance, I don't know if it's raining today or not. But now, as we go forward, on our left, we're going to have a narrow sight like kind of everyone. We're going to see Eve by Auguste Rodin, the same Rodin, you remember that is the thinker. And Rodin is known as the father of modern sculpture. And why he has that title is before his time, painters and sculptors were required almost to capture the emotion in people's faces because photography was just in its infancy. But then it was becoming more popular in Rodin's time, so you do not need to see Eve's face to catch the emotion of this sculpture. Her head is bowed, her shoulders are slumped, and she's on this little pathway lined by these beautiful European orchid trees. And I always like to throw this out for people that are in a time schedule. This is called a gallery, and you have to pick and choose which one of these. There's about 30 other sculptures back here. If you are interested in sculptures, that one is worth the bang of your butt. That particular path. Now, you ladies and gentlemen, right here, can you see a sculpture over here? Okay, looks like a tree at first glance, but then you look a little closer, and you see two little legs, two little Mary Jane shoes. This is called Esther Young Girl by Laura Ford, an English artist. Again, apologize for those of you that speak French. Escalier is a horticultural term that means to train plants and bushes and trees to go flat against a wall. And if you've been to other botanical gardens, you might see how flat they grow. Look at the back of our little girl. That's what the artist is asking. Are we training our children to grow a certain way or letting them go? There was a wild rose around that, and they just cut that. But that was a contest. Now we're going to see a beautiful sculpture over here on our left, which is our waterfall. And imagine the number of weddings that happen here in the summer. This waterfall was actually constructed as a visual and sound barrier so that roads you drove in on. It's right on the other side here. And throughout every season, this area is beautiful. Through all the growing seasons, something is blooming in here. And then these two trees right here in front, those are dawn redwood trees that were originally thought to be extinct. And then they were found growing wild in China in the 1940s. Their seeds were collected and distributed to botanical gardens all around the world. But since I've been volunteering here, I have found one of these trees in my neighborhood. So I do not believe. So take a look at it. You have one. I was going to say, I don't think they're so rare anymore. Oh yeah, now look in the pond, kind of right about where Mike's pointing. You can see we have a lot of koi in this pond. And those fish can live to be almost 30 years old. And they stay right here in this pond. It goes to the bottom in the winter and come back up in the spring just fine. And you may think that we have koi over here in the Japanese garden, and we do not. The Japanese garden is connected to the Frederick watershed, which is drains into Lake Michigan, and koi are not a native fish to Lake Michigan. Okay, now, on our left, I know you're tempted to go to the right, but we're going to focus to the left. On our left, we have the distant form of a desert rose by Ronaldo Pomodoro, who's normally known as a non-objective artist, which means his things aren't anything that are ever recognizable in nature. But in this case, a desert rose is really a thing. A desert rose is formed in the desert when water evaporates and the gypsum crystals form all these undulating bodies that pick up little sticks and stones in their formation, and that's his interpretation of a desert rose. And now if you Google that, you can see big giant ones in the Sahara Desert, and we've had guests from the Southwest here that say we have them in the American Southwest, little ones. So by all means, if you get the chance to, that artist is known for the amount of detail he puts into his work. It's beautiful to look at around every shot. All right, we're still going to focus to the left. On our left, we have number 26 and 25 by Anaka Bowman, a Dutch artist who gives us absolutely no clue as to what's going on. When you look at these people, can you tell if they're male or female? Can you tell by their clothing? Are they from a certain time period or a certain culture? Not really. The artist wants us to decide what is happening here. Then you look at their faces, you look at their posture. You can decide every time you look at the sculpture, you might notice something a little different and change your mind. But it's up to you to decide what the dynamic is. And now, in direct contrast, giving us absolutely no clue as to what's going on, we have Aria by Alexander Lieberman, a Russian-born American sculptor who is about music and movement. Look at this piece. See if you can find parts of a double clasp, parts of a note, parts of a guitar. This artist really wants you to walk into this sculpture and feel the bigness of the sound. It makes this sculpture move. This is the largest sculpture we have here at Mejier. Up at the front, I don't get to say this because you would have already seen our American horse by this point if you listened up at the Tram station. So you're going to have to remember this because the American horse, which is massive, as we're going to see at the end, is half the size of this, which seems unbelievable. So we're going to keep this in the back of your mind. And now, even though you think of an aria and you think of opera, apparently this artist is a big rock and roll fan, and the Rolling Stones are his favorite. I like to say happy birthday to Mick Jagger. His birthday is about 80 years old. Yeah. All right, on our left, we have Spider by Louise Bourgeois. Now, I want you to all practice that name. Louise Bourgeois. Can you say it? Louise Bourgeois. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Now, she is paying homage to her mother with this sculpture. And let me give you a quote from her. My best friend was my mother. She was clever, patient, soothing, dainty, neat, and as useful as a spider. And she could also defend herself and me. When you look at this spider, you see she isn't needle colored. There's an egg sac hanging from her abdomen. And then notice the legs, how fine they get at the bottom. Her mother owned a tapestry business, and so she very often had a needle in her hand and carrying tapestry. But now this artist died in 2010, I believe. But she did not start making these spiders when she was 84 years old. And you know, this is welding. This is welding. And she was very prolific. We've got one outside our National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. We've had a guest from Canada. We have one outside the National Institute of Art in Ottawa, over 20 feet high. A guest from Arkansas. We've got one outside of our Botanical Gardens, again, about 20 feet high. The largest one, I believe, is outside the Tate in England, 32 feet high. So if you see a sculpture of a spider somewhere, you will have the name Louise Bourgeois to just throw. I think that's Louise Bourgeois.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. Okay, now, on our right, we have The Thunder by Jim Dine, a contemporary of Andy Warhol of the pop culture of the 1960s. And when you look at it, it might look vaguely familiar, which he used Venus de Milo as his inspiration, but in this case, this is all about texture, in direct contrast to the smooth marble of Venus de Milo. The plantings underneath are textured, the base, the sculpture itself is all about texture. He is also the artist on our left. And on our left, we have the large spirit that screams color, which to me screams the 1960s, but that makes art and all the bright colors. But then when you go by, look over your left shoulder. He also did tools in their places, which much like Spider at first glance might look a little off-putting. But in this case, he is paying homage to his grandparents, who owned a hardware store, where he worked in much of his youth. And when you look at those tools, those are all things he was using hardware. So again, at first glance, going, takes you back a little. And now imagine this pretty song here. Never a bad time to visit my garden. But then coming up on our left, we have two indeterminate lines by Bernard Mejier, a French artist, who uses no preliminary drawings for his work. He uses arches and angles and mathematics, and is somehow able to make that heavy steel 4-inch rope look like it's flexible and light. That particular sculpture was on display in New York City in 2004 as part of an exhibition on Park Avenue, and then when that exhibition was done, it was brought here as part of our permanent display. All right, now on our left, we're going to have Julia, like Keith Haring, an American artist who got his start in the New York City subways in the 1980s as a graffiti artist. Very active in the LGBT community. And this is, oh, look at the cheerfulness of this sculpture. And it's named Julia. Julia was a friend of his, and she was a dancer. Even though I can guarantee most of you have seen some of his cartoon-like characters, they're always cheerful and colorful and just exude light and happiness. And on our right, we have Ron 1 and 2. Like, this is a surrealist artist, which means a dream-like state. So am I seeing you have a bird over there? Or is it a machine? Is it part machine, part bird? It's really kind of that dream-like mystic over there, especially with today with the mist in the background. It does look pretty white. But if you walk up to that sculpture, you can see there's ripples in the water on the foot plate, much like in the summer when the road is hot, like it's been the last few days, and the road in front of your car looks wet, and then you get up there and it just disappears. Or all those old movies where they be in the desert and then you look at the mirage out front and then get up there and there's nothing there. Like, did we really see that much work? Okay, now in direct contrast to our very, very Julia over here, we're going to change our tone a little bit. Over to our left, we have our newest sculpture here at Mejier Gardens. It was installed last summer at our Holocaust Memorial piece. It is called Ways to Say Goodbye by Ariel Mejier. And it is an aluminum cast of a persimmon tree with shards of glass being held up in the branches. And even though it is our Holocaust Memorial piece here at Mejier Gardens, the artist really wants us to think about all the tragedies that are going on in the world today, and maybe in your own personal life, and think about the loss of the past, keep some pride in our present, and a definite hope for the future. And again, I've read that that glass up in the branches would also represent crystal loss for the night of the broken glass when the Nazis invaded the Jewish areas and destroyed their homes and businesses with glass everywhere. Okay, now to stay kind of on the somber tone, we have Listening to History by Bill Woodrow, an English artist, over here on the ground. Now look at this fella. The findings of the book are blinding the eyes. The book itself is deafening the ears. The artist's fascinating. Are we listening to history? Have we learned any lessons from our past? Or are we repeating the same thing? There was nothing special that we wanted to bring with us here. So now on our right, we have King and Queen by David Nash, an environmental artist who only uses the desert palm trees for his pieces. He used an axe, a chainsaw, then he charred it, then he cast it in bronze. And much like number 26 and 25, he does not tell us which is the King and which is the Queen. But if you had a chance to see him as you went by, one was concave, one was convex, so I don't know. That's the thing. However, if you had a chance to go to the back and maybe see it now, the one that's concave is a little in front of the one that's convex, and he uses history and fairy tales as his inspiration. Would the queen really have ever been in front of the king? Not so sure. So it's up to you to decide which is which. Now, if you look over your left shoulder, you get another chance to see, I guess it's the sun was out. It is beautiful when it's not. On our left, you can see ways to say goodbye again. Now I'd like to talk about this meadow over here. You can see Marcy Vesuvio Scarletti in the background. We're going to talk about that when we're around the corner. But this meadow has over 30 different kinds of wildflowers. And every 3 years, I've never seen it before, they do a controlled burn here. So last April, the end of April, they burned this completely black, as well as all that grass under Cabin Creek, charred black. And then in about 2.5 weeks, nature just started taking over again, and everything just came back stronger than before. No receding, nothing. It was just amazing to watch. Okay, now, much like David Nash, who uses fairy tales and folklore as inspiration, we have a German artist called Frederick did Grosser Triffy. Now look at this guy. He is solid and strong and almost looks like he's planted in the earth. And when you think of fairy tales, you think of Germany and Grimm's fairy tales. Doesn't this guy look like he's going to be a guardian or something maybe? And if you do the secret word or the secret phrase, his arms would open and then let you pass. Or take a look at this guy's posture. He might want to join our next sculpture. We've got a spot all ready for him up here. Now look, it's some of you just got off the bus. You didn't get to see it. But when you go in, maybe those of you that went to the bathroom, saw that beautiful room with the marble faces on the wall called Utopia by Dame Florenza. This is the same artist. And it's all about bringing people together, with conversation. And we could take closer to you. There's a spot for him right over there. You can join this lovely conversation. And you can see it's all about language and talking to each other as opposed to maybe always jumping right to action. And we had a guest from Seattle that said they have one of these outside here art museum, but the alphabet is a different language. So, very cool. Bringing all people together, all around the world. Now, on our right, we're going to get another chance to see Marcy Vesuvio Scarletti. When you think of Scarletti, composer, music, movement, even though he uses massive, heavy construction materials for his pieces often move. Those two, we don't have any breeze whatsoever. And those two I-beams in front, they gently move in the breeze. And in contrast to this beautiful wildflower meadow with this heavy I-beams, it's a beautiful contrast to that sculpture. Now on our left, we have Column of a Free Spirit by Richard Hunt, an American artist who's got a home right here in Benton Harbor, Michigan, but his main studio is in Chicago. He's on the board of directors of the Smithsonian Institute. He uses African-American art, mathematics, and architecture as his inspiration, and you can definitely see the architecture in that column. And then look at the explosion of life out of the top. So think back for a little Estelle Yard girl being trained to go flat against the wall. This one, giving our children a good solid base and watching them explode out of the top with all kinds of possibilities. Oh, and he's also working on a piece for the Obama Museum in Chicago, the library. In Chicago. Okay, now coming up on our right, we're going to have the Grand Rapids art by Andy Goldsworthy. He's an English artist, but he lives in Scotland. He's also an environmental artist. And he made this sculpture about movement and travel. And at first glance, it might look like we placed this arch going the wrong way, because normally an arch is an entrance to something or over a road. But that's the movement part. It looks like it's moving down the road, or much like a slinky would move down the stairs. And the travel part comes in, is this artist normally collects all the materials for his sculpture on the site he's going to install on. In this case, those stones were quarried in Scotland, and they traveled over here. And that is held together with nothing but pressure over there. Now, think back about David Nash, King and Queen. He did this horticultural piece here called Savor Larch Hill. It's on our right. In 2013, he planted these American larch trees here with horticulture. Now think of a saber. You know, a saber is curved. They were planted to curve. Even though I think this guy right here wants to be a dagger instead of a saber. But that's kind of the beauty of this sculpture, to come back every year and see what these trees are doing. Are they trying to go straight? Are they trying to curve? And it's just a lovely segue into the Japanese garden. When you think of Japan and the sabers, and we are now leaving the sculpture park. We're going to be going around the Richard and Helen Boss Japanese garden that opened in 2015. Japanese landscape architect Mejier spent 4 whole years developing this spectacular 8-acre space. In this space, there is a bonsai garden. Look at the American larch trees in the bonsai garden. There is a Zen garden. There are waterfalls. There are peninsulas. There are sculptures. There are boulders with haiku written on them. It is absolutely spectacular in there. And then I want you to look through the shrubs here and see if you can spy that bridge down there in the water. It's a direct contrast to us Americans, who are all about getting from point A to point B in a straight line in the fastest amount of time possible. That is a zigzag, but it's just meant to naturally slow you down and take in your surroundings and see what you can see from the bridge. When you see what's blooming, when you see the sculpture from the bridge. And now I'm going to have Mike going to do his darndest to get to a spot where we can see across the way. There's 2 things I want to point out across the way. That tea house, oh, there's a lady up on top of the hill. And right behind the tea house, there is a thing called a viewing hill. This is a very little sign as you're walking around the Japanese garden. There's a little, just very clean-like path with a lovely bench on top. It gives you a chance to just see a beautiful view of the Japanese garden. I encourage you to take it. Oh, there's more people up there. But now that tea house you see across the pond there, that was actually constructed in Japan by Japanese craftsmen. Then they took it apart and they came with it and reconstructed it here on site and did all the woodworking here in the Japanese garden. And now the Japanese, the tea house is actually open only 1 weekend a month throughout the season, spring and summer season, in the fall. 3rd weekend of the month, ladies come over from Detroit and perform a tea ceremony on Saturday, and then on Sunday it's open just to go in and appreciate the beautiful. Now, if you want to Japanese garden, you have many things, but 3 of the things you have to have are you need to have water for purity and flexibility, you need to have plants for growth and transformation, and you need to have boulders for strength and stability. We have over 4,000 boulders in our Japanese garden. 3,999 of them came from Michigan. 1, a pink granite boulder, came from Wisconsin. And I'm going to challenge you all to try to find that pink granite boulder. I might give you a big quiz around the corner. But now we are in front of our beautiful replica of a 1930s Michigan farm garden. And look at the fencing. Fencing. Now this Michigan farm garden has sculptures of animals, children, adults, depicting what life would be like at a Michigan Bay in the 1930s farm garden. And that barn you see in the background is actually a 100-year-old barn that we took from a Michigan farm and we assembled here on site. And inside that barn there's a lot of old tools for the front day. And that house you see here is actually a replica of Meijier's family farmhouse. And a wonderful place to take a little respite there with our little rocking chairs. And more importantly, if you're out walking around, there are bathrooms in here. So make note of that. And then Mike's slowing down right where those 2 gentlemen are, just past them. You can see a break in the fence, and you can barely see the top of a little sculpture there. That is supposedly the sculpture of Lena Meyer on her 8th birthday riding the family pig. Okay, now, look at the top of our farmhouse. You can see we have a working windmill that was also taken from Lena Meyer's family farm. We've got some kids in there. You can see they're pumping the water and then trying to convince them, no kids today use very